guys, we're going to do a quick workout here on our mats. Let's start with the feet in a V shape. So heels together, toes apart. And we're going to go into some squats to warm up. So we'll take an inhale. As you exhale, we'll come into that squat, squeezing the heels together. And your knees will go a little bit wider than your hips. Let's do 4 more. Last 2. On the next one, we're going to come down, hold it here, little pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll come back up to standing. We're going to take our steps out a little bit wider, still with that external rotation, and we'll go into those squats here. We want to sit back into our chair, but keep the chest up and the tailbone down instead of arching in your low back. For 3, 2, on 1, we're going to hold it here, little pulses. Shoulders down from the ears for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll come back up to standing. We're going to stay here. We're just going to add on to those squats a little bit. So let's go ahead and come down into our squat and come back up. Squat, come back up. We're going to come down into our squat, lift the right heel and the left. Right and left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Hold it here, little pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll come back up to standing. Once you're here at standing, you can kind of pedal it out a little bit. And then let's come to the back of our mat. Take an inhale, reach up overhead, and then a fold down to your toes. You can let your head just hang heavy here. Taking in a breath. And as we exhale, we're going to restack our spine, at least a count of 6 until your head reaches the top. Once your head reaches the top, roll your shoulders down and back. And then we'll step out a little bit wider on our mats here. And then we'll take another inhale, reach up overhead. This time we're going to open the arms out to a T. And then with a flat back, we'll fold all the way down. Once you're down, you're going to reach over, grab onto your right ankle. Pull in for a stretch on this right side. And then we'll take it over to the left. And then we'll come back to the center, grab on behind the ankles, bend and stretch the knees a couple times. And then let's go ahead and stretch the knees. Relax the arms, restack the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. Roll your shoulders down and back. Bring the feet a little bit closer together. This time we're going to take that inhale again, another fold down to our toes. But for this one, we're going to walk our hands all the way out to our high plank. Once you're in your high plank, we're going to take an inhale to bring our hips up to the ceiling into our pike. And then again forward into your plank. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And then once you're here, you can bring your knees down onto the mat. We'll separate our knees, send our hips back, give yourself a nice long stretch through the center. And then let's come back up into our quadruped here, so all 4s. And we're going to take our left forearm down onto the mat and then just stack your right hand right on top. So that kind of opens up your chest to the right. And then we want to make sure that we're not arched in our low back. So we're just going to round the back under, our tailbone under, so our back is nice and flat. And we're going to take our toes, tuck the right toes under, and we're just going to kick that right heel up to the ceiling. We're going to go right into our glute series. Squeezing the glute to kick that flexed foot up straight to the ceiling. And you can see we're still maintaining that spine position for 5, 4, 3, 2 more. On 1, we're going to lift, little pulses up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll bring it all the way down. Pause here. We're going to go into another exercise. So we're going to take that right knee to that right elbow and then fully extend. Right knee to right elbow, full extension. Let's do 5 more. 4. We've got 3, 2. Last one. Go ahead and extend. And then bring that knee down to the floor. You can bring both hands or both forearms down to the floor. Make sure that tailbone's tucked under. We're going to lower and lift the straight right leg. For 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, let's lift, little pulses up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw it in. We'll just send the hips back for a little stretch. And then let's come back to center. We're going to do the same on the other side. So we'll bring our right forearm down this time. Left hand is going to be stacked on top. So we'll open the chest out to the left. And remember, we don't want that arch in the back. So we're going to round the tailbone under. We're going to take that left heel straight up to the ceiling. Squeezing the glute for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1 lift, we got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Go ahead and bring it all the way in. And then let's take that knee to elbow. So we draw it in first and then extend. Draw it in and extend. Good. Let's do 3, 2, last one, and then bring it all the way in. Relaxing it here, we'll come back to both forearms. Reach your toes out, and then we'll lower and lift. Good, we got 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, we'll lift little pulses. Good, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll go ahead and just send the hips back for that nice stretch. And let's come back to the center. We're going to have a seat on our mat. And we'll just sit all the way back, bringing our feet forward in front of us. We'll plant those feet down onto the floor. And we're going to reach the arms forward for a nice long extension of the arms, but not bringing the shoulders up to the ears. We still want those to be down and back. And we're just going to go into our half rollback. So press your feet down into the floor. Knees are separated, hips distance apart. We're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to round your tailbone under, start to roll back. We're just going to go halfway, and then we're going to round back up to seated. Let's do 3 like that. Good. See, I'm drawing my belly in as I roll back. My last one here. Come back up to seated, relax the arms. Let's add in a little bit more spine extension at the top. So you're going to reach your arms forward. We're going to round it back But as we round up, let's reach the arms up overhead, bringing those biceps right to the ears, but not all the way up to the ceiling, and also not in towards your ears. And then we'll round it back. And then back up to extension. Let's do one more like that. And then we're going to round it back. Hold it here. And we're going to lower and lift the arms for 5, 4, 3 more, 2, last one. And then let's round up into extension. Relax the arms here for a second. Good. And then let's do one last thing here while we're here in the seated position. We're going to take the arms forward. We're going to round it back, hold it here, and then we're going to lift the heels off of the floor. So now our toes are just really lightly, delicately on the floor. We're going to go into some marching. And we're just keeping the core in place, keeping the abs in place, but we're lifting the right toes and the left. Good. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Place your toes down, lower your heels, roll all the way up to seated. And then let's lengthen the legs. We're going to stretch out the hip flexors a little bit from that last exercise. They might be feeling a little bit tight. So we're going to flex our feet so our toes point up to the ceiling. You can inhale to reach up overhead. As you exhale, you're going to fall down to your toes. We're going to restack the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Let's do 2 more. We'll do 1 more. And then we'll come back up to center. Let's open up the legs a little bit wider, and we're going to do that from one side to the other. So we'll take an inhale, reach up overhead. We're going to fold over to the left. Stack up through the left so we can get that nice lengthening all throughout the left hamstring. And then let's take it over to the right. And left. And right. Perfect. Go ahead and bring your feet back together. We're going to scooch kind of towards the edge of our mat. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall to start. We're going to do a roll down to get into our next position, our next ab series. So press your thighs down into the floor, sitting up nice and tall. Tuck the belly in. Keep pressing those legs down into the mat. And then we round all the way down and back. Once you're all the way down and back, go ahead and bend your knees. Bring your feet to flat on the floor. And we're going to start off with some bridging, and then we'll go into our ab series. So right now we have this little gap in between the low back and the mat. You can see that there. We're going to try to close that gap by keeping the hips down, but just tilting the pelvis to press it down. And that's your pelvic tilt. So we're going to start there. And then after you've tilted your pelvis, you're going to lift just your tailbone off of the mat, and then your low back, middle back, upper back. That's going to bring you all the way up into your high bridge. Take another breath in at the top. And we're going to melt it down. All the way down, one vertebrae at a time. Back to that neutral spine. Let's do it again. And we're just going to do a couple of these articulating bridges here. Melt it down. Let's do 2 more. Perfect. We got our last one. Pelvic tilt, scooping up. And we're going to hold it at the top. Once you reach the top, we're going to do some little pulses up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. And then we're melting our spine all the way down. Perfect. Once you're all the way down, we're going to go into some hinge bridging. So for hinge bridge, instead of articulating the spine up, we're just going to go up with a flat back. So take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to lift your hips straight up to the ceiling, and we're just going to lower down for a tap of the tailbone and then back up. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. We got 4 more. Tap and lift. 3 more. Tap and lift. Last 2. On the next one, let's lift up into that bridge. We're going to hold it at the top. Open and close the knees for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. And then go ahead and lower your hips all the way down. Once your hips reach the mat, go ahead and pause here. We'll take that right ankle over our left thigh and pull it in for a nice figure 4 stretch. And then we'll switch to the other side. Pull it in for that figure 4 on this side. And then we'll relax the feet down. Let's go ahead and let that left leg hang down to the floor. Right knee is going to come into the chest. Pull it in for a stretch. And then we're going to lift the left leg off of the mat. Point your toe. Really get some nice extension and energy all the way from the hip. Curling up through the center. Pull that right leg in. And then we're going to switch. Pull in and switch. And switch. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Perfect. Bring your knees into your chest. Relax your head down, pull it in, and then curl your head and chest up. We're going to extend the toes, extend the fingertips, and in. Exhale, extend. Inhale, in. We've got 5 and 4 and 3. 2 more. Last one. Relax down. Take your legs up to the ceiling. Point and flex your toes. We'll grab that right one, pull it in, let the left hang down. Curling up and switch. Switch and switch. Switch for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Relaxing down. I'm going to interlace my fingers right behind the head. Bring my legs into tabletop, curl up through the center. And then I'm just going to bring my left elbow to my right knee, center, and switch. For 8, 7, 6, 5 more, 4, last 3, 2 more to each side. Last one here. And then we'll come all the way down. And then let's finish up here with one more exercise. We're going to start by floating our legs up into that tabletop position. Reach your arms up to the ceiling, and then we're going to curl the head, neck, and chest up. Bring your palms to hover right over your mat. We're going to go into our hundreds. Little pumps of the arms here. Belly in, curling up, looking at your thighs. And you're breathing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Modification, you can always bring your head down to the mat. If you want to modify here, we can also add some progressions, curling the head up. You can take your legs out to a 45. We can alternate 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can also take those legs up to the ceiling, or we can stay here in our tabletop. Remember to keep breathing. We've got 10. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down. We'll take those knees to the right. Turn your head to the left. And then we'll switch over to the other side. And you can bring yourself into a ball to roll up to seated or round up to seated. And then once you're all the way up to seated, let's go ahead and come into my favorite mermaid that I include in almost every one of my workouts. If you have done my other workouts, you'll know that this is my favorite. We'll take the right hand down to your mat, left hand out to a T. This front leg, right leg is flexed in front, and then this leg is flexed back. We'll reach up and over for a nice lateral bend. Open back out to center. Take it over. Let's open the chest to the ceiling. And then close down to the floor. Open back up through center. We'll counter that. And then relax here. Let's switch to the other side. Taking that left hand down, right hand out to a T. Lateral bend. And we open. Another lateral bend. And then let's go ahead and take it for that lateral bend. Open the chest. And then close to the floor. And then let's come back to center where we will counter. And then let's go ahead and finish up this quick express workout by sitting in our cross position, or I personally like to sit back on my heels, but if you have any kind of knee issues you're dealing with today, you may want to sit crisscross. And then we're just going to take our arms up overhead. Your thumbs are going to point back, and we're just going to round the spine for an extension. And then bring the arms down for a flex. One more. Then we'll come back to center. We're going to take our right hand out to a T, reach it up and over, and then we're going to open it out, take it back behind us, and you can reach this arm up and over for a twist, or you can bring it on the outside of your thigh for a little deeper rotation. And then let's come back to center. We'll do the same on the other side. Reach that left up and over, and then take it back for either your twist or a little lengthening. And then we'll come back to the center. Let's go ahead and take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead, and then bring them down to your hips. And you guys are all done with this quick express Pilates workout. If you want to see more short workouts like this, please let me know in the comments. I'll make some more 15-20 minute workouts that you can combine with something else you're doing in your day, or maybe a good way to start or end your day. I look forward to seeing you guys at the next video, and thanks for tuning in.